Hi, everybody. Today I have a special guest, Jacob Pepper from the USA, Milwaukee to be exact, and we're doing two interviews with him. One more about his role and what he does, and the other one is for diversity in dynamics, where he tells us more about his journey. So stay tuned for this special episode. Great, Jacob. Good to have you here today on Just Peter. What I want to know, and everybody else, who's Jacob Pepper, and what's your role?
Hi there. Thank you for having me. So, my name is Jacob Pepper. I'm a business development manager here at an ISV called Fidesic. We do accounts payable automation for GP and BC, and we've been pretty involved in the dynamic space for the past like 20 years or so. Started at GP, and then now we're a BC shop. So, in my role, I do inbound sales. So, it's just like qualifying leads, discovery calls, doing product demos. I also deal with the partner network. So it's just like going to conferences and such and like building out relationships with people and just going and traveling and representing Fidesic on that front. So yeah, I got started in this role. I started as an intern in my last semester of college in 2023 and then started full time upon graduation. And I've been in this channel ever since.
Ever since, that is, you're a young guy. GP is older than you are by
Yes.
far. So, and I think that's cool because when I started 16 years ago on this channel, I was the youngest. So I'm happy that there's people helping me out here. You're the youngest person probably in a regular event, but also in business, and especially on the dynamics. We were together at the Races North America. So, what is it like to be the youngest in the room full of industry veterans with 20 plus years of experience? How do you look upon
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. So, for some context for the listeners, I started as an intern when I was 21. I am 23 now. I'll be turning 24 this year. So, very much squarely Gen Z, but in this channel, like pretty much one of the youngest people there. When I come into these events, it's really nice because I feel like my age gives me an ability to learn from people. It's like, all right, I'm the youngest person with the least experience. People are more willing to engage with me and be in the mentorship position, but also just like give me advice and just I feel like I have like more of like an ability to learn from others just because of my age. So I think that's been helpful. But I also think on the flip side of that, it's just like in sales, it's just like you have to build up credibility and experience by like age and just like by being and showing up. So it's just like it does take time to obviously do that. So it's just like trying to build up my subject matter expertise, but also just like learning and just listening when I have to and just yeah. So I'd say that it helps me, but it also can hinder in some ways.
Yeah, if you would say how many people of the same age on the last event, percentage wise, would it be like 5 or 10% or lower? I have no clue. Maybe you.
Yeah, so the current statistic is like in 2025 that Gen Z was going to overtake the baby boomers in the workforce. But I guess at the events in our channel specifically, I would say that there's a few people in like their early 20s that I know, some like more people in their later 20s. So it's just, it's nice to know that there are some there, but it's definitely not the norm. And yeah,
But like 5% or anything like that?
I would probably say around that.
You've been with Fidesec, and did you already give input into the team, a product decision or project you work for, and that you're really proud of? You say, guys, I nailed it, or any other success that is.
Yeah, I would say that in my role, the thing that I have been trying to focus on. So as an ISV, we get a lot of organic and web traffic that comes in. So it's leads that come in that way, but we really haven't spent time building out our partner channel and getting relationships established and getting like deals and leads from them. So it's just in my role, like I've really pushed for, oh, let's travel to more events, let's get booths and go to expos and stuff so we can become more visible to the partner channel. And then I feel like by just myself doing speaking sessions and like, getting people on my team to do speaking sessions, we get in front of the partners, and it's just I would say that like I'm had been really proud of just like the relationships that we have been able to build and building out like a pipeline that it's like just partner deals. So that has been like pretty, I would say that like the thing that I've been trying to focus on most and has been most important to me in my time in this role.
What do you think is the best thing about the channel? Let's say it like that. And then
Absolutely.
also one thing that you, if you had a magic wand, what do you want to improve?
I would say the one thing that I really appreciate about the channel is that it seems like at least a lot of the people who I know and have seen in this channel have really been able to find a career here and have been able to build a business. I think that in terms of just like ERPs, I think that BC is like really good and it's like it's growing. So it's just like in terms of just like growth and career trajectory, I really do see a lot of that in the Dynamics channel. And then I also just think too that with the rise of AI and just like all these like new tools coming in, even though it's like I am like new to the channel, it's like
Yeah.
I'm still like everyone is new to these tools and like these new like systems and like ways of doing things. So it's just I feel like everyone's doing a lot of learning and upskilling at this time. So it's just, I think that it's definitely a good time to enter the Microsoft Dynamics channel. I really didn't think that, I guess nowadays there really aren't a lot of lifelong careers or at least industries or channels where you could spend a whole career in, but it's really cool to see that it's okay, I could probably spend the duration of my career in this channel in some capacity with like channel management or be a consultant or starting your own practice. There are a lot of different routes that you can take. And it's really inspiring to see all the different ways that people in this channel have done that. One thing to improve, it's just, I would say that this diversity in dynamics is actually helping to improve this, but it's just like getting more diverse people in, getting more young people, getting more like people of color and just like all of the different groups of people and diverse perspectives into the channel where it's actually helpful. So it's still a very white space and still very straight. So it's cool to get a lot of different perspectives and they actually help.
Good. I'll be talking more about diversity in our next video cast. For everybody who wants to know more about Jacob, his insights on the diversity, stay tuned. So no worries. We will get to that part. I have another question. What's one thing you believe about ISVs or partner strategy that most people would disagree with?
I would say that one thing that I disagree about like ISV and partner strategies would probably be quantifying event ROI. So I think that a lot of places they're like, oh, I have to have this many meetings booked to go to this event, or I have to have this amount of quantifiable business. But because we're a smaller team, a lot of times it's just me going to these events. So it's just like, I'll come with 1 or 2 meetings booked in advance or just have some prospects that I want to talk to. But I really think it's just about getting your channel team out there, just getting them like meeting people and networking. Naturally extrovert and more of a social person. It's just get them in front of the partners and get them involved in any way that they can. So I think to build up your younger sales team, it's definitely just get them going to events. So I would say a lot of people just bring their more senior people, but I would say as a strategy, maybe bring a couple BDRs and see how well they do and if they have a career in the channel or if they want to stay in your organization longer after their attendance.
I think it's an absolutely fair point. For the ROI part, I always say it will be pretty difficult because we talk to the same people on every event. So how are you
Yes.
going to track the ROI from event 1, 2, 3, 4 to the eventual deal? That's a tough thing to crack. In actuality, I don't think it's a code to crack. You have to do your meetings. You have to build up your rapport. You have to build your connections. And you cannot always say this customer deal comes from event A, B, or C. It's a mix of things that are happening from your email communication to a demo to repeating a lot of those steps. ROI for events for channel ISVs, I think that is really overrated. And I think if you commit to channel approach, this is one of the things that your marketing team should let go of. Fine to set budgets. I fully agree with budgets, but not on ROI because the transaction will not happen at the booth. We're not car salespeople. We don't sell bakery items or big machines. We sell services and solutions for end customers. So I know some of these CMOs might disagree with me because they want to stay in control of the number of meetings that Jacob is doing in an event. But even then, it's hard to get those numbers attracted. So I fully agree with you. And I think that is something from a channel perspective, we need to have a conversation about and really change the mindset that there needs to be an ROI on channel. If from a CRM perspective, it's not trackable because even if Jacob leaves, the relations that Jacob or I have are not transferable to Philip, who they're going to hire. So it's Jacob's personal relationships, and Philip has to restart all over. Maybe you can write a handover note and whatever things, of course, but it's still your relations are your relations. So I think that's something in channel that sometimes escapes people. But yeah, hopefully with these kind of
Yeah.
podcasts, we will get through that. More questions. Aha. What's something outside of tech, books, people, experiences that inspire you thinking in businesses? So otherworldly things.
Yeah, so outside of tech, I would say that like what inspires me are people who just really are able to take control of what they want to do with their life. So it's like very goal or task oriented. So it could be any realm of life. So if you're really into fitness and get really healthy and into shape, it's cool to just see people who are at the top of their game in any capacity. So it's just like cooking or just like fitness or just, so I would say that like for like me personally, it's just like people who are just really who are involved in their communities and just are like able to walk the walk and talk the talk as well. So I don't know if that's like too general, but it's just, yeah, but
It's your story, Jacob, not mine. So
yeah.
I'm fine. If you have nieces or anybody with a 10-year-old child, how would you explain your current job to them?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have two nieces, Cassidy and Constance. They are 2 and about 7 or 8 months old. So it's like very
Oh, they're a
much like,
bit too young.
yeah, so they're a bit too young. But if I were to explain it to them in a few years, I would say that I build relationships with people, that I sell solutions, or that I just basically help accountants fix their problems with their invoices, and I sell them solutions to fix their problem. And I build relationships with the other people who sell similar solutions, and we work on ways to sell them better together. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that will be good. They can practice for another 6, 7 years until they're a little bit bigger.
Out for them.
Yeah, maybe we can show the recording then. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you think of? Is that work, or is that animals to feed, or go to the
Yeah. So
gym?
when I wake up in the morning, I usually try to go to the gym. So I wake up usually around 5, 6, and it's just like a walk down the street to the gym. So I usually just try to get that going just to get a good start to my day. But if I'm not, probably just like I'll check my phone, I'll make my coffee, I'll turn on the TV. But it's like I work from home too, so it's just like the long commute from the bed to the desk. I try to like go to the gym, try to make coffee, try to have a bit of a morning routine before I start doing work. But yeah, so usually go to the gym at 6, try to be like logged in with like breakfast made at 8 or 9.
You have a good morning routine then. So that's a
I
good thing.
try, yeah, but
For everybody, it's different, right? And especially working from home. My office is next to my bedroom.
yes,
I have a long commute as well, but I don't commute without coffee. When I have that ready, I start. So thank you for this part.
of